What's up, guys? We are back for another X-Men Wave Marvel Legends review, and we're taking a look at my most anticipated female figure and my favorite female X-Men character of all time, always has been, PSYLOCKE. So this is the black hair version. There are two running around out there. I've only gotten the black one so far. There is a purple version, but she is in that standard Marvel Legends box. She's in that big window. She's got a Build-A-Figure piece. We've got our modern style X-Men logo down there on the bottom, and then the back has a product shot as well as our lineup and our Build-A-Figure. So let's pull her out and take a closer look. Alright guys, and here she is out of the package, and for a figure that I was very excited to get a hold of, I do have a lot of things that I really like about this figure. There are a few things that I don't necessarily like about this figure, but we're going to go through all the normal stuff. We'll start with articulation and kind of see how she moves around, and then we'll take a look at her overall look and feel. So as far as articulation goes here, this is going to be pretty standard stuff. You basically know exactly what you're going to get because this is pretty standard female Marvel Legends figure here, so it's all very, very normal, very boilerplate kind of stuff. So the head can swivel. Thankfully, the hair doesn't really get in the way there. It does get in the way when you want to move it upwards. That's not going to work. Down, though, she can go all the way down. So that's pretty good there. A little bit of bobble side to side. Arms can go out. They can swivel. No bicep swivel, of course. No double jointed elbows, but the single joint works fairly well. We've got hinged and rotating wrists. She has an upper torso joint there, so she can go backwards just a smidge. She can go forwards just a smidge, and she can rotate side to side. Legs go out that far. They kick forward very far, but they don't go back at all. Thigh swivel. We've got double joints at the knees, and we have got a rocker and a hinge at those ankles. So we're looking at pretty standard stuff. She is, you know, at the end of the day, slightly limited, especially for who she is. I really wish she was a little bit more mobile. I mean, PSYLOCKE is basically a telekinetic ninja when you really get down to it, so she should be among the more agile characters, and her body type in this figure doesn't necessarily reflect that. Now, in terms of how this figure looks, for the most part, I am pretty happy. There are, of course, a few things that are kind of nitpicky. There's one glaring issue that everybody knows about at this point, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with her. I know that a lot of people wish she was on the Moonstone body. I don't have that figure, so I have no attachment to it, but I understand why. It's got bicep swivels for one, so that's kind of cool. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think she has the rear end that PSYLOCKE should have. She's kind of flat back here, and that's not necessarily a thing I care about, but it's something to point out. The overall look of her outfit, I think, is pretty solid. I think the sash, you know, it's a reused part, should be different. It should cinch at her waist a little bit more. The blue that they've used here, I think, works really well. I like it. It's got a nice metallic sheen to it. We've got the painted blue on the legs here that matches pretty well across the body, so I don't have any real gripes there. Of course, the big thing for this figure is the hair color. So we've got black hair here. And we all know PSYLOCKE has purple hair, so there is a running change in this figure, and unfortunately I have the original one. So black is the original, purple is the running change, and that's what we should be seeing more commonly as time goes on, is the purple. I have not found it. I'm not sure I'm going to go out of my way to find it, but I do prefer the purple hair. The purple-haired body, however, has a different color suit, which is a darker blue. So I'd prefer the purple hair on this body, honestly, if I had my pick. So we'll see. I'm not sure I'm going to get it or not. But in general, I do like the way she looks. I think it's all right. You know, the body type, the body size works well. She is a very small, slender woman, so that works well. I think the head sculpt is pretty decent. I don't have any real issues with it. She's got that, you know, slightly Asian look because of who PSYLOCKE is and where she comes from, and the combination of Betsy Braddock and Kwannon. So, you know, there is definitely an Asian slant going on here. I think it looks well. The eyes are painted cleanly, eyebrows are cleanly painted, and then the lips are nicely done. So I don't have any true issues with her overall look and feel. I think she very much looks like the PSYLOCKE that I want her to look like. The biggest issue for me is just the fact that I don't have that running change hair color, and that's really what I wanted out of this, because the purple hair is definitely one of her defining characteristics. Now for accessories, as you can see, she obviously has a handful. So we've got 3 of her kind of telekinetic style energy effects. We've got the kind of blast effect that goes around her head, around her face when she's using her powers. And this just kind of sits on there with a little friction, basically. It just sort of clasps on. It doesn't actually click on or attach on in any way, but it will sit there just fine. All of this is in a transparent kind of pink plastic, which If you've watched my reviews before, you know I really dig transparent, translucent style plastic, and I think this works really, really well. We've got the telekinetic knife here that she has, or the dagger, that sits over top of her left hand. It will go over the right, but it's really meant for the left, and it just sort of clasps on. You don't have to take the hand off to do that. It'll just pop on over, and it works pretty well. It's about 1.5 inches long there. And then the big thing, literally and figuratively, is her sword. And this is a new sword as far as I'm aware. I believe this is the same sword that we're going to be getting with the Typhoid Mary figure. It's just a different design, different blade, different handle. It's got some wraps on it, and then it has this kind of telekinetic fire type effect. And this actually is a separate piece, so you can move it up and down. You could take it off. You can actually pop her hand off and it'll wrap around her wrist if you wanted to do something like that. So I really dig her accessories. I think they are perfectly suited for this figure, for this character. I mean, everything about this is quintessential Psylocke. All of the energy effects, the sword, everything is exactly like I would have wanted it to be, and it all fits very well. She holds it all correctly, and I don't have any issues displaying her with any of these. I'm not sure I'm going to use this guy here, but these two are definitely going to be mainstays in my collection for sure when I have her on the shelf. So at the end of the day, I am pretty happy with this figure. She had a lot of high expectations on my part just because she is my favorite female X-Men character, but I think Hasbro delivered a pretty solid figure here. You know, I know there are different female bodies they could have used, but I'm not, at the end of the day, too worried about that. I think she works out pretty well. I don't have any issues posing her, nothing like that, and I think they did a great job on that head sculpt. I think they did a great job with the accessories. Those are really what make this figure shine, just because you do have so many options that are quintessentially Psylocke. Of course, there is the glaring issue with the hair color, which I just don't understand how that was missed, and it's unfortunate for me personally because I want the running change purple version, so we'll see if I can end up tracking something like that down. But I am satisfied with the black hair and the figure that I have, and she is definitely going to have a prominent place on my X-Men shelf. So that is going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Psylocke figure from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.